Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be discussing the difference between a CCA, an ARC, and an RCA. If you are wondering what the difference is between each of these job positions and which one is best for you, then stay tuned because I got you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the details of the RCA position first, since that was my first job at the United States Postal Service. First and foremost, I want to say that every position at the United States Postal Service does not include a uniform. When I first applied to the United States Postal Service as an RCA, I was super excited because I went on Instagram back in 2014 when it was just a picture platform, and I saw so many different women in uniforms, and I just thought it was so cute. The aesthetic, everybody wants that uniform, right? So when I applied to the United States Postal Service, I was hopeful that I would wear a uniform. I had no idea after I had applied and got the job that I was going to be wearing regular clothes like this. Once I got the position, I was kind of bummed out about it because, like I said, I thought that the uniform was a part of the position, but it wasn't. However, it is great flexibility. That was one of the pros to that position because at that time I was in college and I had a son. And later on I did get pregnant, so it gave me the ability to work 2 days a week, which is the only days that they offer you. However, that can change. You are on call day by day. One thing that I've learned throughout the length of that position was I didn't always have to answer my phone. Now, it's important that you do 90% of the time because you are on call. That is an on-call position. However, if you have a doctor's appointment and it's something serious, you don't have to answer your phone. Remember that. So, back to the details of an RCA. An RCA is a rural carrier assistant. That means you do not work in the city. You work out in the country with, the cows, cornfields in the country. So you will be delivering straight from the truck. You will not be getting out. You will not be walking. It's no walking. It's all directly from the window, and you will case up your route. Most of your time spent would be casing, longer than the CCA because everything's getting cased up. Everything. Another thing is that you are paid by you're not paid by the hour. So it's an evaluated route. So say that you're subbing for a route and it is only a 9-hour route. If you go over on that route that day, say you worked 10 hours that day, you do not get paid 10 hours. You get paid 8 hours. It is evaluated. So that is why it's super important to get that route done. You get paid 9 hours, not 8. However, it is evaluated. That means that if you go over, you're working for free. Unless you go into overtime and then, you know what I'm saying. But other than that, it's best to get done as quickly as possible under the evaluated time or right at the mark. Because it is frustrating. I remember working days where it used to frustrate me. Like during the holiday season, you're going to automatically go over in overtime anyway. So that, going over is going to eventually pay off because, like I said, once you go into overtime, then you start getting paid, overtime. So it does make up for it. However, any other time, it is important to work under the evaluation time or right at that mark because you will get frustrated because working for free ain't what's up. So, and I did mention that you do not get out the truck. You deliver straight from the window. However, you do get out the truck just to deliver the packages. So in the wintertime, that's another thing as a rural carrier is those driveways are a lot longer than a CCA, the city. Those driveways are very long. A lot of the supervisors will tell you you cannot drive all the way to the door. You have to walk from the street to deliver the package. However, if there is a turnaround, you can use it, but sometimes these driveways are so long, you do not know those turnarounds are there until you get there. I have some crazy stories about that. But long story short, Yes, you will get out to deliver just the packages, but that is it. Another thing is that, okay, so let's talk about the CCA position, because this position is you gonna make the money. That's all I'm gonna say. The money ain't gonna be no problem for you. But let's go ahead and get into the details of this position. This position is a city carrier assistant. That means you work 6 days a week and you only get 1 day off. Yes, you will be working Sundays. It is mandatory. You'll be working Sundays until you go career. Then you will no longer have to work Sundays anymore. Then you'll have a day off as well. Sundays are just automatically given to you. A CCA position is, of course, the uniform. You're going to have the uniform. Yes, you can get health insurance through the Postal Service as a CCA. You are basically the help. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're the help. That means that no, you're not going to do your route and then after that you get to go home. That's not how that works. When you clock in at 7, 9, or 10 o'clock, you are there until all that mail gets out. A lot of those regular carriers that have their own routes that are career, they are going home after 8 hours. You are not. You are working until every CCA is out of that building. And it is based off seniority. So the lower you are, the more you're working. I'm trying to think. Okay, so yes, those regular carriers, career carriers are going home after 8. Say they have a heavy load that day. Maybe their route is going over their 8 hours. The supervisor is going to come up to you and give you an extra hour off their route. So you will be delivering a full route, and then whatever a regular carrier can't get done, you will be doing. They will give you what is called a pivot. This pivot is maybe an hour, maybe 2. I've never had anything over 2. However, I've had a hour and a half pivot and came back to the office and realized that CCA was slacking and I had to go help them, which does suck because you do not get rewarded for being fast. You do not get rewarded for, doing more work. You just get more work for it. So just understand that too. One of the best things that I learned from my actual instructor was do not go super fast. Don't be a runner, because once you hit that wall and once you are tired, they are expecting you to be that speed every time. And best believe they will punish you for not meeting that goal that expectation that you've given them. So don't give them an expectation. Do what you can at the pace you can. I'm not saying go slow. I'm saying go at a pace that is best for your body and your mental. If you are wanting to be a CCA because you want the uniform and you want the money, but you don't want a lot of hours, I would highly recommend, before applying to certain offices, going around and checking to see what office is a medium-sized office. Don't go to the one in the city. Don't go to the one that's like, super packed all the time. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is don't go to a high volume postal service. Go to one that's got like less volume. That one's going to be like the best one. I wouldn't consider a small town the best one, but maybe like a, in between. Just do your research, because each office is different. You might get lucky and get to an office and you might have balance. You know what I'm saying? When I worked at the post office in Muncie, I was getting off at like 5 o'clock every day, and I actually got 2 days off. They would call me in the morning. I would be getting ready for work thinking I'm going to work, and they'd be like, oh, you can take the day off. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I ended up transferring to my town where I live at because it was closer, and ended up working 7 days a week. Sometimes you will be working 7 days a week. Best believe that. As a CCA, you may think, oh, well, they can't work me more than 6. Yes, they can. I've actually worked at least 3 months straight before without a day off. Literally, they can work you 3 months at a time with no day off if they want. It just depends on the office. It depends on the circumstances. At this time, it was COVID, and it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that any office is that bad now. It used to be. But 90% of the time, you're going to get a day off. just depends. I highly recommend, you know what I'm saying, you do your research before you apply to an office to see which one is best, because I've heard horror stories of people getting into the worst offices. Every office is not the same. Supervisors run things a little different, and that is a huge part in, you know, whether or not you can hang in there or not. So do your research as a CCA, and let's go ahead and talk about the ARC position. So the ARC position is completely different than all the other positions because it's a seasonal position. You are only there for about 3 months out the year. I want to say November, December, and January, and then you will not come back until next year. You are only there for those 3 months, and say something happens like COVID, please don't happen. Anyways, say, you know, God forbid, but I'm just giving you an example. If something like that happens, then they will bring you in to help. You are the help when we are in extreme need. Instead of hiring more people, they'll have you come in and you'll maybe run just packages. And I believe you only run packages. You don't run mail at all. You just do packages. That's it. So during the holiday season, when we have tax time and Christmas, you will come in and help take the load off of us, CCAs, RCAs, and the regular carriers, to make it more easier for us to get our jobs done. I believe you do take a LLV training course. I believe so. I believe that yes, you do. You take an LLV training course, you will actually get to learn how to drive the mail truck, and you will get to, you know, use your mail truck. I believe you also can use your personal vehicle as well, kind of like an RCA. That's another thing. RCAs, I gotta add something in there. RCAs, some positions require you to have your own vehicle. Certain offices require you to have your own vehicle. Not all, but like real small towns, they do. They require you to have your own vehicle. And same for you, ARCs. If they don't have a vehicle for you, they will ask you to use your personal vehicle, and they will pay you for your mileage, which is great. I will say this. I've had to use my personal vehicle as an RCA, and the mileage pay is actually worth it. It is. It's worth it. However, if you don't have a good vehicle, I do not recommend that you sign up for that position, because it did run my vehicles through the ground. And I will say it pays good, but it don't pay enough to get you a new car. So if you don't have a great car, maybe you can tell the supervisor, look, my car is not in good shape. You're going to have to give me an LLV, and they will work with you. It's not something that is a deal breaker. However, it is great to go into that position if you can with a decent running vehicle. This goes for RCA and ARCs, because y'all are kind of like in the same boat. Y'all are kind of the same position. The only difference is you are seasonal and you don't deliver mail. As an RCA, I'm going to go ahead and add one more thing in there before I close this video out, is RCAs, if you are applying to an office that requires you to have your own vehicle, you will have to take your vehicle into the shop and have it turned into a right-hand vehicle. A lot of people that I know of that work with their own vehicles at my job, they got Jeeps. They use Jeeps. Jeeps. They use Jeeps. So they'll go get a Jeep for, used, that's in good shape, and then they will go and have it turned into a right side vehicle. They would have to move everything over to the other side. I don't know the process. I don't know the name of it. You might want to look that up. It do cost, I don't know how much, but I definitely have about 3 people at my office that have Jeeps, and they've turned it into right side vehicles. But other than that, that is the details of each position. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down below. If you find this useful in any kind of way, please give me a subscribe and support your girl, okay? Without further ado, I am going to close this out. Peace.